Hey guys, and welcome back to Castle Crush, and today we are going to be creating some giant Hollow Knights here with giant growth, and of course the Hollow Knight legendary card here in Castle Crush. And some of these are some really epic matches here, so we'll work our way through them. Of course they have to be replays, but I am going to do commentary this time with these matches, but you know, they kind of had to be replays because it took me so many matches to get these matches, and, you know, I lost a lot of trophies getting to these, so it would have been like, I didn't want to do, like, too many hours of this type of a thing with actual commentary, so, of course, you may be wondering if I can do this, why couldn't I just do the championship videos, but, you know, the thing with those is that I get a lot less return on them versus these videos, which people seem to generally really like. So again, here we have our Hollow Knight going in, and they play a dragon here, and I'm just kind of waiting here. Of course, I have I have 2 Gusts of Wind in this deck. I have 2 Nature Heals, Inferno. You can see I have a Skeleton Swarm there too. And they freeze me here, which wasn't good, but I use the skeletons to kind of screen my Hollow Knight so they can't instantly get to it. Of course, they decide to smartly counter with an Executioner. That's pretty easy work for my Hollow Knight. And I'm happy because I still have 2 Nature Heals in my back pocket here. But that Black Witch is doing some damage, actually more damage than I might have thought, like 100 damage per hit. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to win this. And, man, right here is tough. I'm lucky I have, like, 3 Nature Heals to work with because I badly needed it. And I do take out the first dragon. Those dragons, like, both had giant growth on them, which is crazy. And I wait and time that Nature Heal just right. And then we get the push going. And, of course, that Black Witch is still hitting away over that. I just let her hit away. I probably should have done something about her sooner. But I'm still, oh, that was really lucky there. Luckily I was saving an Inferno. I think I'd actually purposely saved that Inferno just in case. As we'd gone along here, I'd started to learn that the Black Witch is the biggest threat to this deck being able to work. Like, the single-handedly biggest threat on a consistent basis. And finally, we get the job done there. I'm not sure how many giant growths that was, but it was quite a few. And this Hollow Knight's pretty big. Where you tend to get the biggest ones, though, is if your opponent can turn it and then put their own giant growths on. That's really funny, too. They do play a dragon, but at this point, it's basically over. I'm not going to... Well, actually, no. I do Gust of Wind again. Yeah. 3 Hollow Knights out here. They're going to try and play Black Witch, and this was the situation here where I was saving that Inferno for. But yeah, I learned pretty easily you got to save those Infernos. And I just keep blowing it back with the Gust of Wind. That's my strategy, is to keep blowing it back, and they get out these big Phoenixes, and I'm like, because I don't really have any way to take them out. And they're still putting giant growth on that Phoenix, and I'm wondering how this is going to play out. The thing you have to remember right here is that the Phoenixes, even with giant growth on them, don't have that much health, and they lose giant growth if they rebirth. So they lose all the effects of giant growth if they rebirth, I believe. And I choose to go for the Inferno. Maybe I should have just let the Hollow Knight do its thing, but... And right there, they almost take my Hollow Knight out, but I usually try to time the Nature Heals so that I get as much actual health back as possible. I mean, that's what you want to do, otherwise you're kind of wasting the Nature Heal, I feel like, but you don't want to let it go so far that they can KO you with, like, a lightning or something. So, you know, it's a risky game. It's a risky game playing this type of deck. And we're easily working through their Unchained Demon because of the skeletons in front, but this part gets tricky. Luckily, I have another Nature Heal, so it's not too bad. And we're just pulling them back again, trying to hunt for some giant growths I can use. I didn't have a whole lot of luck getting as many giant growths as I did in some other videos. But it would have helped if the Hollow Knight had turned more. I'm surprised it didn't like get turned more like back and forth by my opponent. Sometimes they would turn them, but that usually resulted in me losing the match rather than being able to ever turn it back. I guess they just get so big at a certain point, it's like, yeah. And that one gets finished off right there. Really good shape. They're going to play skeletons and things, which isn't the worst, because at least it basically delays them. Like, it delays me from being able to take out too much of their health. You know, on the flip side, it takes out health of my Hollow Knight, so it means I'm going to have to heal him. And then it's like, you know, I'm trying to guess how many times I'm going to need to heal him, basically. And how often I need to be healing him. And you don't really know, because you don't know what cards they're going to play. And like right here with that Spectre, and then more skeletons, I'm like, uh-oh, I got to play Inferno, because they could be doing a lot of damage. And I didn't know if I wanted to use Nature Heal right there or not. Because as you can see, if I'd used Nature Heal, I would have been out of Nature Heals. So, you know, right there I finally used Nature Heal, and we're doing pretty good. They don't have that much health left, but I was obviously trying to get the largest Hollow Knight possible, so of course I wasn't going to just take the win. I wanted to go for it all, you know, risk it for the biscuit. And I think I end up paying for that because they get out a lot of stuff, and I have a couple clears, but that Spectre in the top lane ends up really being what I think causes a problem here. I still blow him back, but again, right here I could have gotten the win. Do I get the win? Actually, I did get the win. This Hollow Knight's going right here. It's going. But then that was going too, and I got very lucky there to escape. Again, you have to save those Infernos, I learned. Because the Black Witch is so hard to find decks, especially like above like 3,500 trophies that don't have Black Witches in them. Unless it's like a rushing deck, like in which case I'm even more screwed with this type of thing, because a rushing push, and considering I'm trying to keep my guy alive, it doesn't really work well against rushing. Because with rushing, you either got to clear them or like you got to win yourself. So I don't get arrows. I use Innate Power to take out some of the skeletons, try to reduce the amount of damage they're putting out there. They get a larger mage, which actually ends up doing some damage to some serious damage to my Hollow Knight, and that spike statue can do some damage to it too. Not a whole ton, but alright, so pretty good position, pretty good. That Skull King's going to cause me trouble right there. I blew it back because I didn't know I was going to draw Nature Heal until like seconds later, so if I'd known I was going to draw Nature Heal, I might have waited. So we end up doing this instead. I'm glad I saved the Nature Heal here. Trying to get maximum effect out of the Nature Heal. I will say in this deck was like one moment where I actually did see why I could have upgraded Nature Heal. Like, this is one deck where I noticed times where it was like, yeah, Nature Heal wasn't fully healing the Hollow Knight. But that's pretty rare. I'm going to have to get the card like really big to actually encounter that type of situation. And I'm just holding right here. I got one card in my hand there for a moment, and I was like, yeah, I need it to take out those guys. I should have waited and taken out the last two as well. But I got impatient, didn't want them to do a lot of damage while I waited, so now we got to deal with this dragon. It looks pretty good. I think I can take out the dragon. They play another dragon. I'm like, oh my gosh. What are the chances? And they use a giant growth on it. Now this starts doing some real damage. The problem here is what you can see what's going to happen. They turn the one. I heal them back up. I should have... Yeah, okay, I do use Gust of Wind finally. But I don't get any help in the next hand there. And I probably should have waited again to try and buy a little bit more time. Alright, I have one left. problem is I don't want that guy to turn, because if he turns, this match is over. I can't really come back from it. Getting a pirate, which isn't super helpful. It's going to be close over there. Down, unfortunately, ends up turning around. Fortune ends up turning around. It lagged right there, but it ends up turning around, and then the Spectre dies, but they have all the guys on their side. And there's nothing else I can do. Just nothing else I can do at that point. Huge Hollow Knight, but it's not on my side this time. So, kind of sucked. Anyways, leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought in the comments about this video and what other types of content I should create. Maybe subscribe if you're new to my channel. And thanks for watching, guys. And stay tuned for more videos.